Okay, I believe that we have started. Okay, welcome everyone. How's everybody doing out there this evening? For those that hopefully will join, but as you know, if not, that is okay. The replay will certainly be available on my platforms, Aisha Speaks Jade, as well as my personal page. So I'd like to welcome you to my first 2019 uh, podcast here through Zoom, and I'm so excited. I finally get the chance to have a conversation. I don't want to say interview, but have a conversation, a dialogue with someone who I met through Facebook. I just took a leap of faith. I saw her organization. I saw her presence. I felt good energy, and I wanted her to be on. We originally was scheduled last year. However, with the creator and mother nature and all of those good things, we were not. We all know how technology can be globally. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But moving forward, we are here today. I'm excited to have a guest. Her name is Sabb.
Yes.
So I want Sabb to just kind of let us know a little bit personally about herself and how she came into the great works that she does. So go ahead, Sabb, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Jade. Thank you so much. And first of all, thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. Thank you for allowing me, to share who I am and what I do with your guests, your listeners, your followers. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
You are
and of
so
course,
welcome.
I love all of the positive things that you're doing. So again, just thank you for reaching out and thank you for, making this connection and giving me this
Absolutely.
opportunity. Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
thanks. So everyone, hello, how are you all tonight, today, whenever you're tuning in? My name is Latina Sabb, and I'm originally from Allendale, South Carolina. So I am a country girl at heart.
Okay.
So I personally, I lived in Allendale, South Carolina until I was about 9, and then we moved to Savannah, Georgia, beautiful city. And from there, I went and I joined the military when I was about 19 years old. So, went into the military and just spent 10 years there, as a medical service technician. And I enjoyed, what I did, but I knew I wanted something different. I just did not know what that different was.
Right.
So I decided that, hey, I'm going to take a leap of faith and I'm going to leave the military. And I did so at a time when, back in 2008, when, we were in the recession, I was, discouraged from doing so. I had all kind of briefings. So many people, tried to counsel me, but I just knew I wanted to do something different. So I did separate the military. And then from there, I went to go work for the government and work as a property manager. And, just still kind of finding my way through life. And it was not until 2015, I was a part of a group. A friend of mine asked me to be a part of a group, and it was a books club type group. And so we were asked to facilitate some of the lessons. And just so happened, as I began to facilitate the lessons, it kind of brought back my passion for teaching that I had forgotten about, my desire to teach, my desire to encourage, motivate, and inspire. And so the energy that I got from the ladies, their feedback just continued to confirm that, hey, this is what I should be doing. I love talking, I love teaching, I love inspiring, motivating. That gives me life. And that's something I'll do for free. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
right.
so it was at that time during that book club is when I realized what my purpose was. And at that time, I established Step Up with Purpose. And Step Up Purpose was birthed just out of my desire to help women. And so it is a nonprofit. It is a mind transformation program. We offer 6-week courses to help women get from where they are to where they want to be in life. And we also do, specialized or customized, events. Be it we will do vision board parties. We will do one-day workshops. We will customize customize our program to help anyone. We just try to create a program that fit what they're looking for at the time. But in a nutshell, that's the quick version of who I am and how Step Up with Purpose got started.
Awesome, awesome. And so how long have you been thinking about wanting to have your own business and it be a nonprofit?
Yes. Yes, it is a nonprofit. It started off as a for-profit, and my friends and some of my confidants were like, "No, you need to make it a nonprofit because it's something that at that time, of course, I was funding everything myself, and so they were like, "Listen, this is something that I believe others will contribute to help others be a part of it. You could get sponsors, you could get people to help because it's a good cause. So so we started off for-profit, and then I changed it to a nonprofit organization.
Okay. And with that, are you just locally based where you at, or do you travel outside of that?
Yes, ma'am, I do travel. We went to California. I think it was back in September of last year. And from there, I made a connection with another lady, another mind transformation coach, if you will. And so she and I agreed to be a part of her tour. She, her name is Lena, and she has a organization called Global Miracle Mind Global. And so what she does is she go around to different cities in the U.S. and outside, and she brings awareness of mental illnesses, conditions, depression, and she speaks on how that affects relationships, how it affects one lifestyle, as well as the individuals who are in that circle or surrounded or connected to that individual. So she and I linked up, and so as a result, we're going to be traveling a couple of cities in the next couple of months or throughout the year.
And that's really interesting because that is definitely a passion of mine. I mean, I work full time for the government, so I can truly understand how that can be stressful just in itself, working for the government and trying to manage having your own business.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it really becomes very overwhelming for me. And my goal is to one day fire my boss, not leave on a bad note, but really be able to focus more on, my passions and my goals, my business, collectively as well as individually.
Right.
As well as you spoke about mental illness, which is definitely a huge passion of mine. I've also was able to work past and present, work in the mental health field. And as I've shared, on my social medias, I am a peer who lives with a mental disorder. A lot of times, a lot of stigma comes with that. And people look at you different when you start speaking about that, and they either don't know or don't want to know. And they just, again, they start labeling you. I've had the pleasure of going out and speak about my mental illness, as well as living with a mental disorder and working and thriving and surviving every day because I take care of myself. So, there's lots of people who live with a mental illness or mental disorder, and their students and their husbands, wives, mates. They do a lot of things. It's not always, a lot of people associate mental disorders with people who are homeless, and that's not the case. Absolutely. That's the only picture that they see. But a lot of times people don't even know what a person is going through. They suffer in silence, and they have no idea because we mask it a lot of times because of we don't want the backlash that we get. So I definitely applaud you and the other sister for doing that. That's something that I would like to do. Go out and speak more outside of the state and have a collaboration. So I applaud you ladies for doing that. So when someone comes to your business and they want services, is there a particular avenue that you go, like as far as a coach? Are you a particular coach, or are you one of those coaches or mentors who service all, or is there a certain focus that you'll assist with?
Let's say outside someone else's lane, if you will. Right now, most of the feedback and most of the people who come to me are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. That's something that they're wanting to do, and they just kind of need that push, or they, kind of different. So I'm open to find out what that person is looking for or what they're trying to do. The one thing that I've had to turn away a couple of times are individuals who are in unhealthy relationships. And that is because it gets to a point where they need to speak with someone, I would say someone who is licensed, someone in the clinical, with a clinical background, because I feel like that's a very sensitive subject and area. And because I don't even have personal experience with that, it's best that I direct them to someone who can help them. And I believe that, it becomes more life, survival at that point,
Right.
And so I do encourage them, though, if they want to stay in my program, that's fine, but I will still refer them to someone else, or, I encourage them to get the help that they need so that then they're ready to go through my program.
Right, because we all know, outside of our businesses, we have our own personal lives, and
Right.
life just does not stop. We have our
Right.
good as we have our challenges, and that's something that I speak of as well. Self-care. I am huge on
Yes. I
huge
love it.
on
I love it. I love it.
self-care because if we're not good to ourselves, there is no way that we can be productive in our jobs or our own businesses or relationships, like you said, when we're unstable. And I'm like you, I'm not a clinician, though I do work in that field, but I like to be a resourceful person. Like I don't know if you know, but I do facilitate, I work through or contract through National Alliance on Mental Illness, short for NAMI. And so they're pretty much through, I believe, most 50 states. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're peers who support each other and resource out and be as supportive as we can, but also knowing that we have to want that for ourselves. As much as I can give tools and things like that, if you don't want it, then that's a choice that that individual makes. But definitely self-care is huge. And I say that for me as well, because I've never knew what a self-care was for me, because I was that person who always took care of everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so one day the powers that be, I fell to the ground, and it just let me know, the creator let me know, like, listen, you need to start taking care of yourself, because you won't be good to yourself, and you have to use all those tools to do that. Will it happen overnight? Not necessarily, but the first step is taking that first step and doing what
Right.
you do for yourself.
Absolutely. And I love something that you said. I think it was sometime this week on one of your series on your podcast, and you stated that we are to honor ourselves. And you were talking about yoga, and you were talking about the activities that we need to do, the exercises that we need to do in order to strengthen ourselves, to calm ourselves, to bring ourselves to a point of a balance, an area of balance. And when you said just the phrase that you use, honor yourself, honor your body, that really stuck with me. That really, really, really stuck with me. And I appreciate what you do, because a lot of times, I know even for myself, as you stated, we are so busy taking care of others, taking care of responsibilities and duties. And a lot of times we will overextend ourselves to take care of everything else on our list, and we're not on that list. And so when the day is over, we have given everything. We have nothing left. And for
Right.
the things that we need to do to take care of ourselves, it does not become a priority. It becomes a back burner, or if I have time, when I have time. And we just don't even put ourselves on our calendars. And we
Absolutely.
allow others to put themselves on our calendar. Others tell us what they need us to do. Others tell us where we need to be.
Right.
But we don't do that for ourselves. So that's what I so appreciate about your message and how you use your platform, because it brings us back to ourselves. And it's not to be selfish in a negative way, but to be selfish in a very positive way so that we can give more to others.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, lovely. I love
Absolutely.
what you do.
And you know, from the time that I met you, and I've been able to follow, you know, I feel like I'm in sync with you, because that's absolutely true. You know, last year just went through a variety of things, as we as people do, and one of the things was my mother, her and her with her dementia progressing, and decisions that had to be made, and just, you know, my immediate family, my two children, and just myself, just personal self, like you said, because, you know, we get into relationships, marriages, and just a lot of things, and we take on so much. We mean well by what we want to do, but a lot of times we just overwhelm ourselves. And I know for me, I have to be careful. And I started last year. I said, for 2018 moving forward, I want to start a road of healing and recovery, because I've carried a lot of issues from a very young age into my adulthood, and just held it for so long, trying to maintain a career and a business, that I saw that it was affecting me.
Right.
And I had to make a change, because that was limiting me, because there could have been someone who was a purpose for me, but I was so busy wanting to push everybody away that I wasn't allowing people to come in. Not to say that everybody I should have, but people, you learn from people, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But I just had so much anger with me. And so I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this time to just start healing. And like you said, doing some self-care. Absolutely. So, excuse me. How long have you been in business? And are you? Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, we'll start with how long have you been in business?
It has been since 2016. At the time when I decided that, okay, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to launch this, I set a date and I said, hey, by December, I think it was December 2016, I said, hey, by the end of the year, I'm going to have this business established, because I'd already wrote out the curriculum, just had a few things to do. So I put this on my vision board, and sure enough, it was like December, maybe 27th, 28th is when I submitted my articles, you know. So I did it, and I was encouraged. I was forced to do it in a way, because I had it on my vision board. It was set before me. So it's been a couple of years now. It's been about 2 years. And I launched a pilot program just so I can get feedback from other women. And because the feedback was good, it was great. I knew that, okay, well, yes, I'm on the right track then.
Awesome. So tell people who don't know what a vision board is, briefly, what is a vision board about, and do you find it to be very helpful?
Oh, wow. Yes. Vision boards are any type of visual is that you put before you is very beneficial. You have to see it. And, you know, the word says to write the vision and make it plain. And that is so powerful all in itself. We see, well, let me start with a vision board. A vision board and how I use mine. My vision board is, I have two. I have one that's based off of a trifold, cardboard trifold. And I also have a regular poster board. And my vision board is what I use to visualize. Very important to me, what I value, what I want to see in my life. So I actually have those things. That's how I get started. I put those things on there. So all my visuals are on there. Then I may go by and I may put affirmations. I'll probably put some scriptures. I'll put, you know, other things that inspire me, because, you know, I get inspiration. We all get inspirations at random times.
Absolutely.
And so I try to make sure that I add them to my vision board. And then in addition to that, anything that come up, any thought that I get, I can be in bed at night. And if I get a thought, Sometimes I'll just go and write it on my vision board. It may be something I want to follow up on, or something that I see happening, something that I feel in my spirit that is going to come to pass, or something I need to work on. And so I'll make sure that I, put it on the board. So basically, it's your visual display of what you want your life to be, who you want to be. And it's important to do so. There's a survey that says that if you write it, read it, display it, and then go back and read it every day, you are more likely to accomplish your goals than anyone who do the lesser of those three.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, the reason why it's important to cast vision, because a lot of times whether we realize it or not, that's how we move. That's how our appetites are, activated. That's how we are inspired. Companies spend millions and billions of dollars, millions of dollars, I would say, on advertisement. Why?
Yeah.
Because they want you to see it, because if you see it, it's going to stimulate your senses visually, emotionally, through your ear gate, your eye gate. So we have to do the same thing for ourselves. We have to market to ourselves, if you will, because everyone is marketing to us. So, that's how we decide sometimes what we want to drive, what we want to wear, how we want our hair to look, how much, money we make because we saw something, what we want to eat. You may not be hungry, but if you see something, it makes you want to, makes you want it. So we need to, do that for ourselves. We need to have our own vision board so we can crave the things that we really want out of our lives, so we can crave our goals, our passions, our desires. So we just need to do that for ourselves, because everyone else is doing that to us for their own personal gain.
And is that something that you offer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we're going to Allendale, Allendale, South Carolina. Yes, going back to my hometown. I think sometime in February. We're coordinating some dates now. There's a church there who wants to do a vision board for their ladies. So we're going to go there and do a vision board party for them, and then follow up with them every quarter just to help them create their action plans, just to kind of help them revisit their plans, because a vision board is not meant just to be displayed. You have to come up with some action plans to achieve those goals on there. You need to look at it periodically. I write updates on mine, so, you need to go back to it. You need to make sure that you're doing the things that are necessary for you to get those things on that board. It's not enough just to see it, but, if you have a goal to save X amount of money, that means you might have to stop eating out. That means you're going to have to cut back on your spending. That means you may have to invest more. Maybe you need to get another job. You have to take action. Yeah, you have to take action with those goals, because they look good on paper, but hey, without work, sonny, you got to work that thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you definitely speaking to me, because 2019, I'm claiming it to be my year that not only will prosperity and abundance come, but I'm looking to be a first-time homeowner, because that's something that I never thought about growing up. I just kind of was told, you go through school, you graduate, you get, decent grades, you get out here, you go to college, or, you get a job, you get married, or, you have a good relationship or whatever. And that's it. So, and I followed that. Like I tell people, I'm always appreciative of my upbringing, regardless if there are some things that,
That's right.
that I'm working through, because I will never talk bad about my parents, because that's just not me. I will keep those things private, because everything is not for social media.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yes. And so, I made a decision. I thought about it the first time, got real stressed out, stopped, but then I'm back now, and I said, all right, Creator, I know you're going to work with me and through me. So I have to be consistent about it, and I have to go through, what the process is. So I'm really looking forward to doing that, as well as some other things. But I'm really also been thinking about doing the vision board as well, because I tried it once, and when I stuck with it, I tell you, it was very rewarding. And though I may not claim a particular religion, but I feel like overall I'm confident with myself that being spiritual, I can apply different things You know what I'm saying? So if I need to go to Psalms and Proverbs and read some things, that's definitely what I will do. If I need to meditate, that's what I'm going to do. If I need to chant, that's what I'm going to do. As long as it's positive and feeding my soul, I'm
Mhm.
I'm definitely up for it. Because I know this year is going to be good for a lot of people, and I'm not a psychic, nor do I claim it, but I know I'm an empath, and so I feel when I know that things are going to be rewarding for people. And one of the things is I definitely want to do a vision board again, and
Yes.
perhaps maybe I can, get connected with you and get some tools,
Yes.
the guidance or whatever to just kind of restart things, because those vision boards are so helpful. And like you said, it's good to look at it, but if you're not manifesting with it, it means nothing, right?
That's right.
It'll just be a piece of paper or a chalkboard or a board or something, and it's going to have words and pretty pictures, but it's not manifesting. So we need to manifest, and that's another thing that I've been speaking a lot on: manifesting and being diligent. And whatever you're going through, I can remember going to a group, and the one thing that facilitator was, the 3 C's. He was like, we were talking about something, and he was like, catch it, check it, and change it.
All
Because
right. All right.
yes, so
I love
you can decide to stay where you're at, which that's your choice, because we do have choices in life,
That's right.
right?
We got
So,
options.
or options, absolutely. So we
Hmm.
have the choices and the options to stay somewhere and I guess just be miserable or negative, or we can change it. It's work.
Absolutely.
But I tell people, anything that's worth value and greatness is going to be work. So you have to want to, you have to have that passion or that desire to,
Absolutely.
to want to do it. So that is just so cool. Um, what have you found in the past or perhaps presently a challenge for you?
Oh
If
my gosh. Let me tell you, it don't take much. That don't take me a long time to think about that. Uh, my challenge for me personally, I'll be very transparent in my personal life, because I believe that that's how you help people and just being real with yourself.
mm-hmm.
I am, whenever there's something that I really want, if I have the immediate desire, passion, just like you were just stating, if it's something that I want, oh my gosh, I go hard for it. I will sacrifice for it, time, sleep, money, whatever, I will do that. But when it comes to the things that are not important at that moment, I don't apply the same principles that I do to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
So like this year, and I'm putting myself out there, right? This is all going to be all on the internet and all, so people will be able to hold me accountable when they see me 6 months from now.
Uh-huh.
So, but with all of that being said, what I have done is I've always tried to take care of that to-do list, like we talked about earlier, whether it's with my business, whether it's with my relationships, things that I'm doing to progress professionally. But I have neglected my health.
Mm.
And that's the one thing that I give up first. When there's too much, when I'm juggling too many different balls, the first thing that I let fall is my physical health, activity, working out, not getting sleep, not
Mm-hmm.
eating right. And so that's been a challenge for me in the past. And and I know that, and I figure, okay, when I get ready, I'll do it. I'll know when I'm ready to get started again. But now that I'm really feeling the effects of being unhealthy, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't have to feel right to do it. As long as it feels bad to my body, it's time to do it. And it doesn't matter whether I'm inspired to do it because I just got that sparkly feeling. No, my body is telling me I need to do something about it. So that's a challenge for me because I am activated by a passion and a drive to do it. So now I have to be activated because it's something that needs to be done, not necessarily something that I want to do. So I've had to modify my eating habits, and we fast every year for my church. So this time I was actually looking forward to just kind of quieting down the background noises, sacrificing certain foods, just to get into a clear space, a clear head space, just to bring some balance to myself,
Right.
eliminate noise. And it has been so much easier than I expected. And I think it was because I knew I needed it. It's not that I had a desire for it first, where I always moved off a desire first. And this time I've had to turn it around and say, no, I need it more than I desire it. So it's time to make that change. And as I teach in my lesson, in step one of the program, one of the points that we make is that it'll be easier than you think. When it comes to change, sometimes we the reason why we don't do it is because we consider it to be so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as hard as we think. Once you get moving, once you start implementing changes, once you start changing what you do, how you do it, what you speak, how you say it, you will notice a difference. And that's what I'm experiencing right now, is that, it was easier than I thought. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be something I'm going to continue to have to practice. Do it because I need it, not because I want to, because I need to, not because I want to.
Oh, I can definitely relate on that, because I know that has been a off and on struggle for me as well. And being a person who is what I call it, is an emotional eater, especially if I'm going through some stress. Boy, don't let stress come to me. I am happy with it. And being diabetic as well, and even with that, like being diabetic, and I've shared this as well on my platforms. I'm diabetic and I have hypertension, high blood pressure. But the high blood pressure has been, as far as I'm concerned, very under control more recently. But the diabetes, and due to taking medicine, and I always say is people's choices or option, because I'm not here to promote that you should or should not. You have to do what's best for you, the right, as I call it, the right cocktail for you.
Right.
But have taken the medicine that I was taking at such a high high milligram, it has now, I've lost some bone density. Right.
Oh.
And so when I went to the dentist, that is when I found out. So I'm there with you. Even if it's just doing small things, again,
Yes.
that goes back to us with the self-care. Even if it's just doing some walking, some brisk walking or running, for those people, like I tell people, if you can't afford a gym, that's okay. YouTube has some basic exercises that you can start off doing free, and you can do it in your home. And they have from the beginners to the most advanced. You can do different things. As simple as, for me, I said for the new year, I want to start taking the steps more, going up versus always taking the elevators. Now there's 9 floors, so it's not that many. So that's a challenge for me. And again, eating properly, that is so important. There's so much processed food, and just they're shooting up, the meats with all different kinds of chemicals and stuff.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I know growing up, we've never heard about so many different diagnoses as we hear about it now, especially obesity in the Black and brown community, right? So, we have obesity and more diabetic people, and hypertension and cancer and lupus, and more mental illness, and just a variety of things. So eating a good balanced meal, definitely making sure you incorporate your fruits and your veggies, and drinking more water, cutting back on that sugar, whether it's soda or, the caffeine as well. It is a challenge, but you have to think about your life. We have one life, and we want to be our best selves.
That's right. Absolutely.
And it's very important, very, very important. So let people know when, if they're interested, they want to learn more about you, your platforms, all of your platforms.
All right. Well, I am on Facebook, of course, and my username, or my Facebook name, is SABB space A space TINE. And you will see me there. I think I have on a white shirt, just to be clear, because there are 2 profiles out there. I had a hack. But so that's how you can find me on Facebook. And then I also have a Step Up with Purpose page on Facebook. So again, that's Step Up with Purpose on Facebook. And then you can also send me an email if you go to my website, which is www.stepupwithpurpose.com. So those are the ways that you can reach me. I would love to hear from you. And working on, I haven't completed the 2019 schedule, but I am looking to do some more things online on Facebook, especially for those who are challenged with, meeting at physical locations throughout the week. And so I'm just trying to accommodate my schedule as well as others so that we can still get the message out and we can do it in the best convenient way possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you guys, when you listen to this replay, make sure you listen carefully, and all of the social media is put out there for you, okay?
Mhm.
2019, we need to support each other more. I think that's very important. And I know for me, I've been slowly but surely cutting down on my list because I have to be accountable as well as I'm wanting someone else. If we're just not connecting and being interactive or supporting each other, then we have to just let that resolve and we just move forward,
Right.
and because I'm a huge person of wanting to support people, and I believe that we definitely need
Yes.
to do that in general, yes, but also again in our African American or Black and Brown community. It's very important that we do that. There's a lot of resourceful individuals out here, male, ladies, and men, and we need
Yes.
to connect. And if it's a good fit, awesome.
Yes.
If it's not, that's okay too. So final words, what would you tell someone that wants to start a business, or they have started it but they're a little frustrated and maybe a little unmotivated and they're just trying to find their way?
Okay, I would say, first of all, you know what? Don't be afraid. Don't be hard on yourself if you reach any of those points, because in life, just like in life, we're figuring things out. And so it's okay to not know, to be unclear, to get confused, or to feel like you're stuck. But the most important thing is to sit down and think about what is it that you want. When it comes to a business or a nonprofit, you have to know the difference between wanting to do something because you want to make money or doing something because you want to raise money. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's going to determine how you're going to move forward in your business. If you're starting a nonprofit, and not that you cannot make money or not supposed to make money in nonprofits, but if you're starting a nonprofit, then your strategy is going to be a little bit differently than going in business for profit. So first of all, decide whether you're trying to raise money or make money in this particular business. The second thing I would say is do some research. You have to do your homework and your research. You have to validate a need for that organization. And you can always go online and decide, hey, if you wanted to open up a women's shelter, for instance, go online and see whether or not they are, not see if they already have homeless shelters, but find out what the homeless population is for women, because we would be surprised if we just do the data sometimes. And if you're talking about, especially in funding your program or getting funding for it, you have to show the need there. And if you do that proper research, it's going to give you the energy. It's going to give you the knowledge so that you can better communicate what the need is, so that you can get others to help you meet that particular need. And so if you start with those two, that would get you in a much better place, in a much better position. And number two, don't start your business without doing the business itself, meaning get your paperwork done. Make sure make sure you file your articles. Make sure that you have a business name. Make sure that you take care of all the legal aspects of it as well, because you even whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit, you still have to run it as a business. And maybe there are going to be some differences there, but you want to make sure that you have a really good foundation. So even if you start doing something and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm off right now, it's okay. Take a moment. See, analyze it, evaluate it, assess it, see what you need to do, and to build it up to make it to where it need to be. And then, continue from there. My thing is, you don't necessarily have to stop everything, but you just, sometimes we have to retrace ourselves and say, okay, hey, let me make sure I'm going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, but
Absolutely.
don't be afraid of having to do that. Don't be afraid of having to, take a look at your vision and say, okay, hey, is this what I need to do? Or am I doing it the right way? Do I need to have the right people there? Oh my gosh, I didn't know this at the time. All of that's okay. That's okay. Just take your time, reevaluate, reassess, and then, continue to move on.
I like that. And So you guys heard that, right? So make sure you reevaluate and reassess, okay? So that you don't have to overwhelm yourself with it. Because so many businesses don't do those things, and then they get out, and then they're out of business the next thing you know. So
Yes.
take your time. It's okay.
Take your time.
Take your time. It's going to be there, people. It's going to be there. Use all the resources that are out here. Okay, that's definitely use all the resources. Go to organizations such as Latina so that you can get some guidance and some assistance and some
Absolutely.
support. Okay, so that you can have the best successful profit or nonprofit business that you can have. And so, guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into the replay. Listen to it well. Latina, I look forward to 2019.
Yes.
Knowing you more and connecting and brainstorming and linking up physically face to face to do some things.
Yes.
And I just put it out there and claim it, and so it is. It will definitely happen. People, thank you again. Tune in to my show on my platform, Aisha Speaks Jade, for motivational inspirational, just, me being transparent about myself, us being able to, support each other and uplift each other, and let 2019 be the best year ever.
Yes.
With
yes,
that being, yes, Ashe. So with that being said, thank you again, Latina, and you have an enjoyable evening.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you so much. And good night, people.
Good night, everyone.
Awesome.